And we are live. Howtodunk training, everyone. I really want to be expanding my platform in 2019, so I've come up with actually a pretty cool idea today to do these, I guess you can call them car talks or podcasts as I'm on the go, just traveling somewhere. So I'm trying not to make them too long because obviously you don't want something going for hours. It's going to keep you pretty bored. So I'll try to keep them within the 20-30 minute mark, maybe even 40. Something like that, you know. I'm new to all this, so let's just see how it goes. So what I wanted to start off talking about, I can't see anything. Since it's the beginning of the new year, I really wanted to talk about setting new goals for the new year and how to achieve them, because, you know, as January 1st hits, it gets very confronting. You're like, you know, I want to achieve all these things in the new year. You write them down, you have all these great ideas, you probably start off pretty well, and then you just hit this weird wall when it's like, oh, what am I doing? Do I really want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Or even if you don't hit that wall, you're going to hit some sort of wall. Maybe it's going to be like, oh, geez, like, I can't believe I wrote all these things down. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's too hard to achieve. What do I do? And it's a fair enough question and point, and I've struggled with that a lot of times. I wanted to achieve a lot of things. Like, I remember there was years when obviously my page is Howtodunk, so a lot of the things I do are about training and increasing your vertical jump, getting stronger, all that. So I had a lot of goals in those areas, like get my bench press up, get my squat up, my deadlift, and also start jumping higher and stuff like that. And those were all good, but I found with a lot of other goals, it was hard to balance all these things together. Especially, I was back at school in those days, and in year 12, we have something called the HSC. It's like the final exam you do at the end of the year, and basically it's important because it helps you get into university or college, and further studies is basically the whole point of that exam. So you want to get a good mark because, you know, there's a certain minimum requirement you need to get, like a certain grade you got to get, like for the people in America, I don't know what it's called, GPA or something. In here we call it the ATAR, and basically you want to get a good mark so you can get into the course you want to pursue in the future. So in that year I wanted to achieve a lot of things, but I found like a lot of my time was going towards studying, so I couldn't really train properly. My diet was a little bit all over the place because I would have to like kind of eat a lot on the go and just fit in meals when I could, and a lot of crappy foods that I probably shouldn't have ate. This weather's terrible here. Yeah, so basically, and on top of that, I wanted to keep my vertical jump at least like to the same standard that it usually was, and it was okay. That didn't really get impacted too much, but it was hard to achieve all these goals. So what I've figured is you really want to be practical when it comes to setting goals, and you want to see how much time you can allocate for each task, I guess. So like in that year, it was impossible to kind of get everything done. I know they say, like, especially like when you listen to motivational speakers, they're always like, oh, it's 24 hours in a day, you sleep 8 hours, you've got 16 left, no excuses. Yeah, fine, but I feel like what they're saying is very metaphorical. It shouldn't be taken too literally, because, you know, we're humans at the end of the day. We're not machines. So there's obviously going to be part of your day when you're just going to be tired and want to sit down and just play on your phone and just do nothing, and that's completely fine. But back to my point. Yeah, so just be very practical with the goals you set. So now 2019, for me, I'm about to graduate uni, so I've got I think 2 semesters left of, I wouldn't say hardcore study, but I at least need to be focused. But comparing that to where I was maybe first or second year of uni or college and my year 12 final year of high school, I have a lot more time in terms of how much time studies are going to occupy for me. So I can set these goals again. I can set getting into good shape, training a lot more. What else? Yeah, following a strict diet regimen, because I really want to get into better shape. That's one of my major goals for the year. And also, I really want to expand my page in terms of putting cool content out. I want to have a good, successful YouTube channel. Hopefully put out a different video at least every week for the beginning until I get the hang of it. Because like I said, all this is really new to me. I have to get used to the whole filming and adjusting the camera and all that stuff. It's a learning process and it's going to take time, but I'll figure it out eventually. And what else did I want to say? Yep, so the YouTube channel is one thing. I want to be posting workouts more regularly and videos. So my Instagram page is going to have shorter film clips. And then I'm going to expand on that on my YouTube channel where I'll put the longer 10 to 20 minute videos to explain things in more depth. Because Instagram's got that 1 minute time limit and, you've got to make the most out of what you can. Not everything is designed in the way you want it to be. So that's one thing. YouTube, expand the Instagram. Of course, want to get more followers. That's always a goal when you're running these accounts. And also now with these podcasts, I want to be uploading them. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put them on YouTube, but I'm definitely going to make an account on SoundCloud and put them all there so they're all nicely fit right after each other in a SoundCloud, I don't know what they call it, document or account, whatever, SoundCloud channel. So I'll try to get the same name. I created the YouTube channel today. It's exactly called Howtodunk with a capital H. So capital HOWTODUNK, Howtodunk. So yeah, follow, subscribe. I'll put the link in the description on my page, and hopefully I'll get some videos up there soon. That's my goal. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say in terms of goals. I would say writing down goals is a good idea, so you can keep reminding yourself of what you wanted to achieve. But I would say this: if your goals are very, I guess, I don't know what the word is, distinct, or you think they are pretty, they're going to take you time to achieve, they're not easy and you got to work hard for them, I would say to focus on one goal at a time, not to overload yourself with all kinds of weird ideas that are just going to, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, you're just going to hit that wall when it's like, oh, this is too much for me. You're going to start freaking out. And, I've been there. I've freaked out before. Too many things you want to achieve, and then the downside is you can't, it's not easy to come back from that. Once you set all those expectations on yourself, usually it's either, you're a super freak and you get them all done, or you just kind of just quit. You just do none of them. You just say, oh, screw all of them. I'll just sit around and do nothing. What's the point of even trying? It's just way too much. Where am I getting at with this? So you don't want to be there. You don't want to be at two extremes. You want to have a good balance in terms of achieving your goals. So set one at a time. I'll give you an example. Right now, my goal is strictly to lose 15 kilograms. So I started off at 100, and I want to get down to 85. So I'm dieting and I'm trying to train more consistently. I'm only going to be doing bodyweight workouts for this 15 kilogram drop. I guess you can call that the goal. Honestly, I haven't been to the gym in a year, or maybe a few months at least. So I didn't want to jump back quickly into weights. I wanted to do bodyweight training, get my body used to it again. And yeah, so that's that's the first goal I want to achieve. And of course, you can have little goals on the side. Like, of course, I'm going to keep my Instagram my Instagram page going, my YouTube channel, things like that. But I'm not trying to overload my goals and put two massive ones. So I'm being considerate of the fact that there are days when I just don't want to do anything, and everyone goes through that. Life isn't, I guess, just made for the purpose of your career. There's other commitments. You have family, you might have a relationship. I don't at the moment, but you might. Everyone's kind of been there, or everyone's going to have one if that's the path they choose. So all those things require time. And not just that, there's health too. You might be sick for a period. You might not be able to do things. So you really need to factor in all those things. All those things are important. And not just that, there are external factors that you can't really control too, like depending where you live. I guess also finances is a big thing. What financially you're able to do and what financially you're not able to do. You have to be very practical with that in terms of what resources you have and what you can afford. And also where you live. Maybe it's snowing every day. You can't really go outside and, I don't know, play basketball or train outside. The weather's just not up to scratch. So you gotta be wary of all these factors. And once you can really figure out all these different factors that are gonna come into play that can affect your goals, that's really when you want to, I don't even know what I'm saying, but what I'm trying to say is you got to consider all these factors before you set your goals, and you have to compromise. You're going to see, is it practical to achieve this goal based on these external factors? That's a really important question. And another thing about goal setting, because it's a long process, like especially with me, with the whole my first goal, which is losing the weight, of course, and gaining muscle too, of course. That's part of it as well. That's why I'm doing resistance training. I'm also doing cardio. I'm playing a lot of basketball, doing all of that. But yeah, because it's a long process, it's going to you're going to have periods during that process of achieving your goal when you might have slight setbacks. You know, there's going to be like, remember I was talking about those days when you just want to do nothing, or other things. You know, might be a period when you just, I don't know, can't get everything done to scratch as you want it to. So yeah, what I wanted to say is achieving that goal might not actually be a linear progression. There might be slower weeks than others. There might be weeks when, I don't know, you lose like half a kilo. There might be weeks when you lost over a kilo. So in terms of me, in terms of my goals, and also for those of you that are wanting to increase your vertical, there's going to be weeks when you gain more than others, because maybe that week before you weren't able to train enough. Maybe you had a lot of homework to do, you had an assignment, or yeah, you had an exam, you had a test, whatever. That's one example. So just know that it's not about, I guess, the individual pieces in the journey aren't so important. It's more of the end result. So even if your path is different to everyone else's, as long as you achieve that end result, that's the most important thing at the end of the day. And regardless of how you got there, if two people got there in a different way and they achieve the same result, you know, they're going to be sitting there and having cocktails and a dinner and saying, oh, you know, we've achieved the same thing. How do we do it? We did it different. And it's fine. You know, we're all unique. We have different body compositions. We have different, I guess, genetics. We have different mindsets. We all think differently. So yeah, you'll get there differently, but it doesn't matter as long as you get there in the end, regardless of if 1 week's going to be slower or not. And yeah, what I wanted to also say is don't let those slower weeks discourage you, because it's very important to stay focused the whole time. Just think of that end goal, that end result. Regardless of if you're having a bad week, don't let that discourage you. That's very, very, very important. You want to stay on track, you know, because there's been times when I've been trying to achieve a goal. That's it. One little setback, one bad week, I just cancelled the whole idea out. I was like 5 weeks into it. Or I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a training program or something. One thing happened. That's it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I don't even know why. I can't remember. It was probably a while ago. But yeah, that's just an example. You need to make sure that you stay consistent. And if you need some days off, that's fine. If you need some days off to recuperate and catch your breath back, in a metaphorical sense, that's completely fine. You'd rather do that than, you know, make this hardcore schedule where you have to do this, this, and this on Monday all the way to Sunday, and then something happens, it throws off 2 of those days, you know, and then that's it. You don't want to do that. You don't want to achieve that goal anymore. So be very practical when you set these goals. Say, there are times when, for some reason, on this day, I'm not going to be able to do this workout or whatever it is. So it's okay if I reschedule it and do it another day. Don't make that a habit. That's very important. Don't make it a bad habit, because that can become a bad habit. You're going to start pushing things and you're going to start missing days. I'm just saying, have balance. At times, you got to be very practical with achieving that goal. And, you know, you'll see before you know it, you will get there. As that time passes, you're going to be more and more proud of yourself and motivated as you see those results coming. And also, those setbacks are going to teach you how to be resilient. They're going to teach you, when you set your next goal, you're going to understand the process better. It's just a learning process. I can't see anything right now. It's just too foggy in this car. Yeah, so it's a major learning process, and at the end of the day, we're all trying to strive to get better in our lives in all areas. But at the same time, we have to have balance. We have to be practical. We've got to realize that not everything's ideal. We don't live in an ideal world. A lot of external influences and setbacks are going to happen. You have to be very wary of that. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. That should hopefully help you out about setting goals for the new year. No matter what they are, fitness related, school related, relationships, career, work. All these things are very important. They're all part of the journey of life. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that today, and I'll see you guys for the next podcast. Thank you.